At the 2012 London Olympics, a 19-year-old Puerto Rican boxer completely captured the hearts of the world. I mean, people were literally calling him a diamond. Everyone said he was destined to become a world champion. Even double Olympic gold medalist Vasyl Lomachenko personally praised this kid's immense talent. But fast forward to 2021, and that exact same boxing star's name was in a very different kind of headline. The chilling discovery of a pregnant woman's body in a lagoon absolutely shook the world. And the man responsible? It was none other than that former Olympic darling, Felix Verdejo. Okay, let's dive into this explainer. Today we're going to look closely at an Olympic dream that turned into a horrifying nightmare, and really break down the tragic true story of a woman who paid the ultimate price.
To really understand the man at the center of this case, we have to look back at where he started. Born in San Juan, Puerto Rico, Felix grew up in a pretty modest family that actually had a huge passion for baseball. But when Felix was just 9 years old, a simple, everyday childhood scuffle changed absolutely everything. He was playing outside with a family friend's son. They got into a fight, and Felix's dad stepped in and jokingly delivered this fateful piece of advice. If you want to fight someone, learn to do it with boxing gloves. It's kind of wild how one passing comment can completely alter a life's trajectory, right? Because from his very first training session at the local gym, Felix fell head over heels in love with the sport.
All right, Section 1, A Hero's Rise, the making of a Puerto Rican legend.
The sheer speed of his success was honestly mind-blowing. Just look at this timeline. At 16 years old, he becomes the Pan-American Junior Champion. Then, only 1 year later, at 17, he is crowned Puerto Rico's national champion. And by the time he's just 19 years old, in 2012, he's representing his country as a quarter-finalist at the London Olympics. The momentum this guy had was staggering. He wasn't just participating, he was completely dominating his weight class on a global level before he even left his teens. That same Olympic year, he launched his professional career, and his stats were incredibly impressive. Out of 29 total fights, he secured 27 victories. In 2014, he delivered a massive hit against Sergio Villanueva that literally earned him the best knockout of the year. By 2015, he won his first championship, the WBO Latino title, which he actually went on to defend 6 more times. To put that into perspective, the public and sports analysts widely believed he was the next Miguel Cotto, Puerto Rico's next great boxing legend. But, as we're about to see, a public hero can sometimes hide a very, very dark private reality.
Section 2, The Double Life, 2 women, 1 dark secret.
This brings us to Keishla Rodriguez Ortiz. She was born in November 1993, actually the exact same month and year as Felix. They went to the same school in San Juan and had known each other since they were just kids. Now, Keishla was known by everyone as this incredibly open, warm, and cheerful person. She had this profound love for animals and actually realized her dream of working at a veterinary medicine and aesthetic center. Her coworkers described her as super responsible and dependable. At home, she just poured all her love into her 2 dogs and her cat. She was compassionate, she was loyal, and unfortunately for her, she was deeply loyal to Felix, who was her first love. This really illustrates the stark, twisted contrast between Felix's 2 worlds. In his public life, he was with Eliza. She met Felix when she was just 14, they got married in 2016, and she was this rising model who later gave birth to their daughter, Miranda, in 2019. Even after a really severe motorcycle crash in 2016 that threatened to totally end his career, Eliza was right by his side as he made his triumphant return to the ring. In public, he played the role of the perfect, loving family man flawlessly. But in his private life, he was maintaining a secret romance with Keishla. And even though Keishla knew all about Eliza, Felix point blank refused to let her go. He used intense psychological control and threats to keep her trapped in his life entirely behind closed doors.
Section 3, The Fatal Catalyst, April 2021.
In April 2021, everything changed. Keishla discovered she was pregnant. At 27 years old, she confided in her sister, Baris, and made it crystal clear that she was ready to be a mother. She didn't care whether Felix was going to be a supportive part of the child's life or not. She wanted this baby. But when she finally told Felix the news, his reaction was not supportive at all. It was a reaction of pure, uncontrollable rage. He immediately demanded that she get an abortion.
When Keishla refused his demands, he started threatening her, making his priorities terrifyingly clear. He told her, "An illegitimate child will destroy my reputation. I can't allow that." I really want you to absorb that for a second. For Felix, his flawless public image, his sponsorships, and his standing as a Puerto Rican sports hero mattered significantly more to him than a human life. Now, Keishla actually went to the doctor, confirmed the pregnancy, and got the medical documentation. When she told Felix she had the proof, he claimed he didn't believe her and insisted they meet in person so he could see the certificate himself.
But this wasn't about verifying a pregnancy. That rage quickly morphed into a cold, calculated plan. Felix visited an old friend named Luis Cadiz, a local machine shop worker who had ties to the criminal underworld. Felix promised Luis a large cash reward to help him get rid of his pregnant girlfriend. The premeditation involved 3 incredibly chilling steps. Step 1. Procure a syringe loaded with a toxic substance, believed to be heroin. Step 2. Gather wire and a heavy concrete block. And Step 3. Use that medical certificate as the ultimate bait to lure Keishla right into a trap.
Which brings us to Section 4, Murder at the Lagoon, the night of April 29th.
That night, Keishla called her sister to say she was going to meet Felix. Her family in Florida was literally frantic, practically begging her not to go. But despite their warnings, she drove her Kia Forte to the meeting spot, holding that medical certificate in her hand. The question hanging in the air is just devastating. Would physical proof be enough to save her? You have to wonder if she still had hope. Maybe she genuinely believed that showing him the proof would just calm his fury, or that deep down, the man she'd loved since childhood wouldn't actually hurt her.
Keishla got into Felix's pickup truck. What she didn't know was that Luis was hiding in the back. She showed Felix the test results, but the argument escalated immediately. Felix then punched Keishla in the head, knocking her completely unconscious. He reached into the glove compartment, grabbed the syringe, and injected her with the toxic substance. Together, the 2 men bound her wrists and ankles with wire, tied the heavy concrete block to her, and drove out to the nearly deserted bridge over the San Jose Lagoon. And then, in the dead of night, they mercilessly threw Keishla off the bridge into the water, while she was still alive. To ensure she had absolutely zero chance of survival, they fired gunshots down into the dark water. After all that, they just drove home as if nothing had happened.
Section 5, Justice for Keishla, the unraveling of a hero. The next 3 days were a rapid, absolute nightmare. Within the first 24 hours, Keishla vanishes. Her sister finds the pets unfed, completely panics, and calls the police, telling them all about the pregnancy and Felix's threats. At the 48-hour mark, Keisha's Kia Forte is found abandoned on the east side of the city. No signs of a struggle. Finally, at the 72-hour mark, a passerby spots a shape in the shallow water near the bridge. A body is pulled from the lagoon, and tragically, a distinctive tattoo on her arm confirms it. It's Keishla. That confirmation sent shockwaves throughout all of Puerto Rico.
This horrific event sparked a massive national outcry against gender-based violence. The public literally erupted into spontaneous street protests. When Keishla's funeral was held on May 8th, her coffin was carried through the streets in a white carriage while people rained down white flower petals. It transformed from a private moment of mourning into a huge societal movement. Citizens across the country were demanding an end to femicide, forcing a very real reckoning with how many women suffer in silence under that kind of intense psychological control. When the police questioned Felix, he denied everything. He claimed he was home all night, but look at how fast his lies fell apart. First, his own wife, Eliza, confirmed to the police that he was definitely not home that night. Then, traffic surveillance cameras captured both his pickup truck and Keishla's Kia Forte heading toward the bridge. Forensic teams found Keishla's hair inside Felix's truck, and cell phone location data perfectly pinpointed them together at the scene. Finally, facing an absolute mountain of forensic and circumstantial evidence, his accomplice Luis Cadiz turned himself in, took a plea deal, and confessed every chilling detail to the investigators.
Now, despite the complete collapse of his alibi, Felix Verdejo continuously refused to admit any guilt, not once. However, the justice system spoke incredibly clearly. On July 28, 2023, a jury found him guilty. And in November 2023, a federal judge handed down a decisive sentence: 2 consecutive life terms in federal prison without the possibility of parole.
So, what is the ultimate takeaway from this tragic story? I think it boils down to this: fame, money, and medals cannot make a man decent. Only character, conscience, and humanity can do that. Keishla wasn't just a headline on the news. She was a deeply compassionate woman with a bright future ahead of her. And she was killed simply because she loved a man who viewed her life as nothing more than a threat to his public image. Which brings us to our final thought, and the question we really want to leave you with today. As a nation continues to reckon with gender-based violence, we have to ask, what mattered more to this fallen star, a human life or a reputation? It is a devastating thought that really highlights the senseless, tragic cost of absolute pride. Thank you for joining me for this explainer. If you found this breakdown insightful, be sure to engage with our channel so we can keep bringing you these structured deep dives into complex stories.
Until next time, keep seeking to understand the whole picture.